Hi guys, welcome back to another episode. I'm sorry to say this one's going to be a very boring and mundane one, so you might want to bring yourself a cuppa, or you may even want to grab yourself a more serious, stiffer drink and come back to this. So budget, how much are we spending on our trip and stuff like that. So I've always been the budget person and the money watcher and saver. So we have been on the road for 3 months. I have my map here. So the purple lines is where we've been so far and our travels, been on the road for 3 months. So I got a bit creative this time. This is my third take of this video. I'm not going to go into any details because this is going to be long enough as it is. I've made a pretty PowerPoint. Let me find slideshow, and we're going to go there. Alright, so our weekly average, sorry, turn that on so I can see. I don't know if that's the right way around for you guys. So weekly average total is $1,600. Yes, I know. Oh my gosh. We have come into this with everyone bragging, you know, $1,000 a week, $50,000 for a year, and we're spending money like that. Oh my god. We will get into that. Unfortunately, that part of the list is at the end. So how do I get out of that? Nope, we're going forwards and backwards. Escape. Alright, here we go. Let me go. So I have an Excel spreadsheet. Ta-da! Which is broken into months. Then each month is broken up into weeks. I know, I'm already used to this. My drink isn't a stiff drink. Because I already know how bad the figures are. So then we have columns, which we're going to go through today in the PowerPoint. So back to the PowerPoint. $1,600 per week. We are averaging a total of, we'll try a slideshow again. Our average kilometers are 440 per week. Breaking that down to further, as you can see, towing is $280, 280 kilometers, and non-towing is 150. Sorry, I will kick the camera stand a few times as I stretch my legs and move my legs around, so the camera will get knocked about. Alright, moving on. First column of the spreadsheet is washing. So this is, yes, I've got my scrubber wash bag, and if you follow us on our Instagram and our Facebook, you would know we also now have an actual caravan washing machine. This is paying for loads of washing in caravan parks, or before we brought the washing machine, I still had to take the towels, sheets to a laundromat. So over the 3 months, it averaged as $3 per week. Moving on. Groceries. So this is one of your big ticket items. This is higher than what we would normally spend at home, but keeping in mind, when I had a house, I had a lovely big house with lots of storage, and I brought where I could, whatever I could. So whereas now in a tiny house, I can't do that anymore. So groceries, $290 per week, and as you can see, this is including alcohol and dog food. Next column, another high ticket column, but it's not as bad as what I thought it would be, especially the end of March. Fuel prices was on top of everybody's thoughts and conversations because it went over $2 per litre. Our average spendings on fuel is $170 per week, and as you can see, I've let you know, we get 16 litres per 100 k's with our cruiser. So that has been, I've got an actual fuel app that I record all our fillings. This has been from day one since we brought it. Keep in mind, we brought that thing last year while on holiday, so it's always towed this van. And if you've seen Corey's, if you've seen Corey's video on weights, you would be aware we're towing a 3-ton van. So at the end of the day, that's actually pretty good. Accommodation, this is your next out of your 3 big ticket items. This is what they classify as your third highest ticket item, and that is accommodation with $160 per week. So as you can see, I've said it includes free camping, staying with family and friends, low cost camps, and caravan parks with deals. So deals we've been able to snuggle is stuff like kids stay free or stay 7, pay 6. With all of that, we've found that with the caravan park deals, since we've come into Queensland, it's actually cheaper to stay in a caravan park than to go to one of these off-grid camps which we're set up to do. So that's why we've been staying in caravan parks. Alright, next column, that heading seems bigger than all the others. Bills. So our bills are phones, insurances, and in this I've included our savings. So I'll show you what it is. So bills, we're averaging $290 a week. So that does sound high, but when I explain it further, you'll understand. So as you can see, it's only a 8-week cycle. So my columns have obviously changed as we've gone along. And savings, well, we have a wage coming in. No, neither of us are currently working, but Corey actually is, we're currently on his long service leave. So we're calling that an income coming in. Now our savings is now, what do I classify it? Sorry, I thought I had a spelling mistake. I apologize now if there are spelling mistakes. I just typed it and I'm reading this as I go. Savings is, we put obviously money away into savings, and we put money away into super. So straight up, the $200 is our savings and money we put away. So really bills are only $90 per week. Let's move on to the dog. So the dog has been costing us an average of $30 per week. So this is his flea, tick, worming medication. Obviously the dog wash that we wash him in, we did pay for him to go and get properly groomed one day. And this also includes a new dog bed, which I will cover further down the track. Attractions. Straightforward, this topic, there's nothing to add to it. we're averaging $50 per week with attractions. Eating out. Now this one is a shocker, and it's more than what we would spend if we were at home eating out once a week. $100 per week. But then keeping in mind, we have had 2 birthdays in amongst all of that. We've also worked out that on driving days, we now stop and get coffees instead of stop and getting lunch. So we look, now we've seen where our money's going. We're working towards bringing that $1,600 down. Final column, the most shocking column, other. $600 per week. So, you know, your general stuff, this is what the column's meant to be for. Your general extras like a car service, stuff from the chemist, posting letters and parcels, new clothes where we need them, car wash, because we're getting the car a lot dirtier than what we used to. But then there's also unexpected expenses, and this is what has blown this column out, and this is what has blown out the budget. So there is too many to list. So over here on another page, I've got the list. So if you've been following us right from the start, you may already have an idea where some of this money has gone to. So, lithium batteries, because the AGMs died. Dog bed, I've already mentioned. We couldn't, now some of these things we couldn't get before we left home, and we intended to buy them. So that is kayak wheels. So Shelby and I can do schoolwork, Corey can just put the wheels on the kayak and drag it down to the water without my assistance. My electric razor, look, I'm not upset about this loss. Yes, it died, and I had to replace it, but I'd had it for years, so I took that one on the chin. Some of these you can take on the chin. Some of these are just like, okay. A second GoPro battery and a charging dock. That was something that we wanted before we left, but couldn't. An Alexa Fire Stick. Yes, we have upgraded the aerial on the van for their television, but it's still not great. So we've had mobile reception, I think, at 95% of the places we've stayed, so we've brought Alexa Fire Stick. Something we needed before we left home was a cover for our Clearview blinker. Yes, being Clearview, even though we picked up our Clearview mirrors for the car second hand, replacing parts at full price is still expensive. School fees was a lot higher than what I expected they would be. With our new awning, as we've covered, and once again, shout out to Super Peg for choosing to swap out our awning in over repairing it, which is all we expected. We did not expect them or anything. And look, we have no connection with Super Peg. We are just completely blown away by their service, and that's why we keep plugging them, because you can't beat their service. So with the new awning, there was a new pole spot. Because we had just kept our pole kit, we did have to buy a new pole, which we didn't know, it didn't cost much, so it was a low cost, but it was unexpected. And we didn't know until we were up the road, because we'd been camping on the front lawn of family, so we hadn't set up the awning. We did, if you have not discovered the Super Peg ratchet ropes, oh my gosh, you have to get some. They are brilliant. We've already convinced others to go and buy them, and they love them just as much as we do. And we've gone and replaced all our ropes, so all our spots that we need to add ropes in, we have the super peg ones, and also we brought some extras to add onto our awning on the car because we love them that much. If you watch Rainbow Beach, you would know that the air compressor died. It was an old air compressor, it was a small air compressor, so that one we could probably cop on the chin, but again, an expense that you don't expect to have. We have since discovered in Queensland that you need live bait to catch fish. So that being said, we've had to go out and buy a cast net to catch live bait so we can catch fish. That isn't cheap, and guess what? We still haven't caught any fish. Something we've tossed and turned over for a while is I had it on the top of my tongue the other day. Is a Cruise Master, got it, Cruise Master DO35 hitch. That is something Corey had inquired about, but it was the freight getting it from Brisbane back home that was a killer, and that was what has made let's go nah. So obviously when we were in Brisbane, we just drove over and picked one up ourselves. Pillows. So our pillows that we had at home we didn't bring because they were at the end of their life, and we already had pillows in the van. But when you're camping weekends, a week or 2 weeks, they're good enough. But camping full time with these pillows, they weren't great. So new pillows there. This one I can take on the chin as well. This one is a user error. So sorry. I told you guys it's a dry, mundane topic today. Alright, so this one, the user error. As you know, we have Fusion Lock all through the van and absolutely love it. If you have looked into buying it or have brought it, you are also aware it is expensive to buy. Well, don't ask me why. Normally, if we've got any wet towels or anything on moving day, I just throw them in the bottom of the shower, hang them out at the new place. This time I didn't. I left a beach towel hanging off the front of one of the Fusion Lock baskets, and it snapped off. So we were up for a new Fusion Lock basket, and guess what? Don't do that one again. This one's only happened recently, but just inside the 3-month mark, is our water pump on the van decided to start playing up. So we replaced it before it got any further or any worse. I don't know, can you see? I've suddenly got fly buzzing around me. So we've replaced the water pump. Basically what it was doing, you'd turn on a tap, it would come on and not shut off. Drinking water hose, this is probably something we should have got a long time ago. Some places we're fine and the drinking water hose is long enough, and then you get to some places and the tap is too far away. It's not funny. Luckily we have had water in the tanks in those situations, but we finally bit the bullet and brought a second one. We have tossed and turned with this, and I can't say that it works yet. A muck mat. So you see everyone plugging them, but they all have affiliations with muck mat. So we don't know whether to believe it or not. Anyway, we finally bit a bullet and went, there was nothing wrong with our mat that we had. And I can't stand dirt on my feet when I'm inside and once I'm clean. The only thing is, I can't give you guys an honest review yet on it because we've been on grass since we brought it, and every other time we're on sand or a concrete slab which should have sand on it. So keep an eye out, and hopefully I will remember to give you updated reviews on the muck mat as we go. But so far, being on grass, I'm not getting as much foot dirt coming into the van, but we are slowly training people to take their shoes off at the door, not wear shoes inside. The things that you gotta get used to. Corey needed a new hat, so he got a new hat. As you can see behind me, we now have Sirocco fans. So we got to a point, it was so humid. We were running the air conditioner 24/7. Thank goodness we were in caravan parks. But if you have a Tenamai, you would be aware that that's the only thing that doesn't run on the 12-volt system, unfortunately. So we had 12-volt fans that were rechargeables. Only problem is you could only have them on low all night, otherwise you had it on higher, the battery would flatten out during the night, and Corey didn't want to run the risk of having it plugged in, charging while using during the night while we're sleeping, as you can understand. So we looked and we tossed up the idea, but the money was holding us back. In the end, we bit the bullet. Luckily Corey's handy and can install this and do all these modifications for all these things that we've had to do. And we've got a Sirocco fan each, which, like, today is a hot day outside. As you can see, I've had to put the blinds up so there's no glare and stuff coming in, and it's really nice. I got all three going, sort of pointing towards me, and it's just really nice in here with those. We're nearly finished. I've already covered clothes, washing machine, as I mentioned earlier. So we picked up on Buy Sell Swap, Facebook Marketplace. We found a second-hand twin tub caravan washing machine. My only concern was water consumption, because once we're off grid and, you know, all that kind of stuff, I already use Wool Wash, so I'm not, you know, rinsing and everything. So yeah, it is using probably 5 litres more than what I per load, than what I was using with my scrubber wash bag, but it does the job. Probably, you know, it's agitating everything better. I can wash the towels, I can wash the sheets. The only thing that I now have to pay to do at a machine is the Doona cover. It's a lightweight summer Doona cover on our bed, so that's the only thing I've got to pay for now, which is something that doesn't get done all the time, so that's okay. New washing machine for me. And and in this column, it was something, I don't know if Corey's covered. He had to put some arms on the front wheels of the car. We had to wait for that to get done to do a wheel alignment. They were jobs that we had planned to get done before we left, but unfortunately it did not happen. And that brings us to the end at the other column. Now, what I should say is, with this and all these figures, keep in mind I do mainly shop at Coles, so I am constantly collecting Flybuys points. And what I do with all my Flybuys points, I convert them back to Flybuys dollars, then I use that to buy groceries. So there's a way, but I have not taken that off, like this is how much that shopping would, whatever that shop costs, I still put it into my column. So keep in mind, like, you know, we would have spent less than that. Same with, I also had the Woolworths rewards. I'm more flexible with that, so I will use it if we're at the Woolworths petrol station. We've used $10 there. Corey needed a new towel, so I went to Big W and used a $10 there, and then I think I did have another one at actual Woolworths itself, so there was another $10 towards food. And at the start of our trip, some of the eating out and some of the attractions actually use the Service New South Wales Dine and Discover vouchers as well. So not all of that was paid for out of our pocket, but that's how much it would have cost. So we're now working towards bringing that 1,600 down a week, and fingers crossed I will do another video in 3 months to reflect how well we've gone. Wish us luck. Last thing that I haven't showed you, so I have this beautiful diary, comes with a handy pencil case, and in here is where I write all my stuff, so location, weather, because we've got to send a weather report home. Travel is obviously our kilometers, where I record our kilometers, and then the expenses, and I just write down all that, and then at the end of the week I just go through, put it into the spreadsheet. So that's that, and that brings us to the end of how we're going with money on our trip around Australia so far. So thanks guys for hanging in there. I know it was a boring subject, but thank you very much. Please keep your questions and lovely positive comments and feedback coming either here on YouTube or on our Facebook or Instagram. Don't forget to like all three if you've got accounts with all three, because they're not completely the same. You'll see some snippets here and there will be slightly different, and if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do it. It will help us out eventually long term, but we've got to build to that and get there. So if you could do that, that'd be great. Give me a thumbs up for this episode, because it's not a great topic, but it's something that people have questions about, and something that we now feel we went, after all the blowouts, we feel we went into this blindsided, and that's where we're at. So yeah, be warned, unexpected expenses will blow you away. Anyway, cheers guys, and we'll see you soon in another episode.